Perhaps you thought yesterday's pickle was a bit bleak. Try this. The devil exists in one form or another by many different names in every human culture on earth. I've actually met evil twice, and I'm tempted by the devil most days. I could tell you that the devil has many disguises, but hey, why should I say something when we've got Shakespeare? The devil can cite scripture for his purpose. Oh yes, addicts and alcoholics in their thorough narcissism believe that only they are so plagued. Rabbis and kings, scientists, samba dancers are all subject to dreadful visitations on a regular basis. Imagine being the president of anything. Bribes, collusion, special favors, and special colors under special wraps will be quietly thrown at you 29 hours a day, 12 days a week. How is your resistance quotient? What inner strengths will keep you sane and pure, or at least minimally compromised? There are those who don't believe in the devil. They wear those special issue rose-colored glasses, and they're convinced that bad people, well, they're just temporarily astray, and that education, will cure everything. Many of these folks are called clergy, judges, psychiatrists, and parole officers. They believe in the universal goodness in spite of the unbroken string of genocides in human history. Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying for a second that all people, or most people, or even many people are devil-possessed. But all people suffer the daily temptation to behave badly, and some are just flat crazy and dangerous. To pretend otherwise is A, to not know yourself, B, to not see the world around you very clearly, and C, and this is most important, to put yourself and others at risk of injury. Example. A man gets on a Greyhound bus, sits next to a total stranger, and shortly cuts off the man's head and then starts eating parts of the victim's flesh. This is not a Stephen King fantasy. This happened on a Greyhound bus coming out of Winnipeg only a few years ago. The murderer was, of course, found not guilty by reason of insanity and placed in psychiatric care. Now, here's where the fun really begins. Pretty soon the shrinks declare that Mr. Chop Your Head Off, well, he's taking his meds, and he's perfectly safe to roam the public streets unaccompanied. And so he was. Let's ask ourselves, what is the payoff for the good doctors to do this? Are they thinking about public safety or the health of the murderer? No. This is an oblique power play. They're out to show us how omnipotent they are. While most of you ordinary plebes do not know what to do with this nut job, we in our infinite wisdom have dealt with him and declared him cured and good to go. In my opinion, these so-called authorities are crazier than their patient, and the devil is happily pulling their strings. Pickle. Evil has always existed in human endeavors. It is important to recognize it when it does show up from time to time.